Nobody saw this coming. And that's exactly why the streets, the fans, and the entire hip hop internet are in a frenzy right now. Because the conversation around Pooh Shiesty isn't just about music anymore. It's about money, power, and the reported real estate empire that some fans believe is worth around $12 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Social media is going crazy trying to connect the dots. Luxury properties, private investments, and whispered deals that allegedly stretch far beyond what the public ever imagined. But here's the twist: nothing is officially confirmed. Everything being talked about online is based on speculation, fan breakdowns, and unverified reports floating across platforms like X, TikTok, and YouTube commentary channels. And still, the story keeps growing. When some fans believe Pooh Shiesty has been quietly stacking assets while staying low key out of the spotlight. Others think this is just another exaggerated internet rumor blown out of proportion by viral pages chasing clicks. But one thing is clear: whenever his name comes up in discussions about wealth and real estate, emotions run high. People are asking questions like, how did it happen? When did it happen? And why is nobody talking about it officially? In the middle of all this noise, there's tension between perception and reality. Because while some are painting a picture of a multi-million dollar property portfolio, others are reminding everyone that none of it has been verified. Still, the mystery is exactly what's keeping this story alive. And as the internet digs deeper, every new post, every alleged screenshot, and every fan theory only adds more fuel to the fire. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Is there actually a $12 million real estate portfolio connected to Pooh Shiesty? Or is this just another viral hip-hop myth taking on a life of its own? Let's break it all the way down. The street's been talking, the blog's been whispering, and social media has been spinning one question over and over like a broken record that just won't stop. How did Pooh Shiesty, a name already heavy in the rap conversation, end up being linked to what some fans are calling a $12 million real estate portfolio? Now, before anybody runs with that number like it's confirmed fact, let's make one thing clear right away. Nothing is officially confirmed. But the rumor mill is loud, emotions are high, and fans are watching every move like it's part of a bigger hidden story unfolding in real time. It all starts with scattered online chatter that began circulating after various fan pages and unverified posts started breaking down what they believe are property investments tied to Pooh Shiesty. Social media is saying that even while dealing with legal setbacks and time away from the spotlight, his name has still been attached to conversations about wealth building behind the scenes. Some people think this could be a strategic move, a quiet expansion into real estate that the public didn't fully notice. Others believe it might just be exaggerated internet talk blown out of proportion. Either way, the curiosity exploded almost instantly. What makes this situation even more interesting is the contrast fans are pointing out. On one side, you've got the raw energy of Pooh Shiesty's music career, the street-heavy storytelling, the viral moments, and the Memphis rap wave that pushed him into mainstream attention. On the other side, you've got whispers of financial growth, property discussions, and investment moves that don't always align with the image people expected. That contrast alone is enough to make social media go crazy, because people love a storyline that feels unexpected, almost cinematic. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the number $12 million didn't come from any official statement, but instead from online speculation where fans attempted to piece together property values, locations, and potential ownership links. Some users even claim they've tracked housing records, while others shut those claims down immediately. I'm saying there is no solid evidence tying anything directly to him. Still, the conversation keeps growing, and every time a new post drops, the debate gets more intense. It's like the internet is building a puzzle without knowing if all the pieces even belong to the same box. As this talk spread, fan reactions started dividing fast. Some people are hyped, saying it shows growth, maturity, and a shift toward long term wealth in hip hop culture. They point out that a lot of artists eventually transition into real estate, business ownership, and asset building. So, in their eyes, the idea isn't far fetched at all. But on the other side, skeptics are saying people are moving too fast with assumptions, warning that online speculation often turns into fake richness narratives that don't reflect reality. Emotions ran high in comment sections, on with debates turning into full blown arguments under posts discussing the topic. Adding even more fuel to the fire, some fans believe that the lack of direct response from Pooh Shiesty's camp is what keeps the rumor alive. Social media is saying that silence in situations like this can sometimes be interpreted as confirmation, even when it's not. But others strongly disagree, pointing out that public figures are under no obligation to address every viral claim made online. Still, the absence of clarity leaves space for imagination, and the internet rarely leaves empty space unfilled. At the same time, discussions about his past success in music keep getting brought into the conversation. People are revisiting his breakout moments, chart performance, and early financial wins in trying to estimate how much capital he could potentially have access to if he did choose to invest heavily. But again, this is where speculation and reality start to blur. Nothing is confirmed, and no verified documents or official statements have backed the real estate claims being passed around online. One thing becomes clear: this isn't just about numbers or properties. It's about perception, curiosity, and the way internet culture builds narratives around artists, even when information is incomplete. Pooh Shiesty's name, whether intentionally or not, has become the center of a story that mixes ambition, mystery, and rumor driven excitement. And right now, the internet is still trying to figure out what is real, what is exaggerated, and what is simply entertainment disguised as news. As the conversation around Pooh Shiesty's alleged $12 million real estate portfolio kept circulating online, what started as quiet speculation quickly turned into something much louder, almost uncontrollable. Social media didn't just pick up the story, it ran with it, reshaped it, and amplified it into something that felt bigger with every repost. Fan pages began stitching together old interviews, luxury car sightings, and random location tags, trying to create a narrative that would explain how such a portfolio could exist in the first place. But once again, nothing is confirmed, and most of what's spreading is based on interpretation rather than verified evidence. Then came the turning point in the online conversation. A series of posts began trending on X and Instagram that claimed new property links had been discovered, suggesting that multiple homes in different states could be tied to associates within Pooh Shiesty's circle. Social media is saying that these alleged connections might indicate a broader investment strategy happening quietly behind the scenes. However, unconfirmed reports also suggest that these claims are based on public records being misread or loosely connected, with no official proof directly tying the properties to him. Still, the damage, or the intrigue, was already done. The story had evolved from rumor into a full-blown digital mystery. Fans immediately split into different camps again, but this time the energy felt more intense. Some users started celebrating the idea, saying this would be a powerful example of financial growth in hip hop, where artists move from street fame to asset ownership and generational wealth. And they pointed out that even during legal struggles and time away from the spotlight, an artist can still be building something stable and long term in silence. To them, the idea wasn't just believable, it was inspiring. Comments flooded in, calling it smart money moves and real boss behavior, even though no official confirmation exists. But on the other side, skepticism grew even louder. Critics argued that the internet was once again doing what it does best, turning assumptions into narratives. People are saying that the $12 million figure feels more like a fan made estimate than an actual financial breakdown. Some even warned that viral misinformation can create unrealistic expectations about celebrity wealth, especially when no verified documents or credible sources back the claims. The debates became heated, with users quote tweeting each other, arguing over what qualifies as evidence and what is simply speculation disguised as insider knowledge. Adding more fuel to the fire, a few viral videos began circulating that attempted to analyze Pooh Shiesty's potential earnings and lifestyle expenses. These breakdowns included streaming, revenue estimates, past label deals, and hypothetical investment scenarios. While interesting to viewers, none of these analyses were grounded in verified financial disclosures. Still, the content performed extremely well online because audiences were clearly locked into the mystery. Every new video seemed to add another layer to a story that was already unstable yet incredibly engaging. At the same time, silence from official representatives continued to keep the conversation alive, as social media is saying that if the claims were completely false, there might have been a quick denial. But others strongly countered that public figures often avoid engaging with rumors altogether, especially when they are exaggerated or harmless speculation. This back and forth only deepened the divide, because in the absence of clarity, people naturally fill the gaps with their own interpretations. Then came what many fans called the plot twist moment, even though it wasn't really a confirmed twist at all. A few users began pointing out that similar real estate rumors have followed other artists in the past, often starting with misinterpreted property records or exaggerated fan calculations. An unconfirmed report suggests that this might be another case of the internet, connecting unrelated dots and creating a storyline that feels real because it is repeated often enough. Once that idea gained traction, the conversation shifted again, this time toward questioning how these rumors even start and why they spread so fast in the first place. Despite the confusion, interest only grew stronger. The story wasn't fading, it was evolving. Every repost, every comment, every reaction video added another layer of suspense. Whether people believed it or not didn't even seem to matter anymore. What mattered was the engagement, the mystery, and the feeling that something behind the scenes might be happening, even if nobody could prove it. One thing was clear: the internet had fully locked onto the narrative. And Pooh Shiesty's name was now attached to a conversation that blended finance, fame, rumor, and imagination into one ongoing storyline. And with no official confirmation, either confirming or denying the claims, the discussion remained wide open, with fans still searching for answers in every corner of social media. As the online debate around Pooh Shiesty's alleged $12 million real estate portfolio continued to spread, the tone of the conversation started shifting again, and this time it felt more intense, more emotional, and a lot more divided. What once looked like simple speculation had now evolved into a full-blown internet storyline where every new post seemed to raise the stakes. Social media wasn't just discussing it anymore, it was dissecting it, arguing over it, and building entire narratives around it as if the truth was hiding just beneath the surface. But through all of it, nothing has been confirmed, and the gaps in information only made the situation more chaotic. As the rumors gained momentum, some fans began to dig deeper into Pooh Shiesty's background, revisiting his rise in the rap game and the early success that brought him mainstream attention. They pointed out how quickly his career escalated, how viral moments and hit records pushed his name into major conversations, and how artists in similar positions often begin exploring business and investment opportunities outside of music. Social media is saying that if any part of the real estate speculation were true, it could be the result of smart financial planning done quietly over time. Still, unconfirmed reports suggest that there is no verified evidence connecting him directly to the properties being discussed online. At the same time, the emotional intensity in comment sections started to grow. Fans were no longer just debating numbers, they were debating identity, success, and perception. Some users argued that the idea of Pooh Shiesty building a multi-million dollar property portfolio represents growth and maturity in hip hop culture, where artists are no longer limited to music revenue alone. They see it as a possible evolution story, one where an artist transitions from street fame to long term wealth building. Others, however, strongly rejected the narrative, saying it feels like another example of the internet inflating celebrity finances without proof, turning guesses into viral facts overnight. The tension escalated further when more content creators began producing breakdown videos analyzing his supposed financial trajectory. These videos attempted to estimate earnings from streaming platforms, touring history, and past label advances, layering assumptions on top of assumptions. While engaging for viewers, none of these breakdowns were backed by official disclosures or verified financial documents. Still, they spread rapidly, with millions of views accumulating as curiosity peaked. People weren't necessarily looking for truth anymore. They were chasing the feeling of uncovering something hidden. During this wave of speculation, another layer of controversy emerged online. Some users began questioning why the rumor even gained so much traction in the first place, and suggesting that the number $12 million may have been amplified simply because it sounds dramatic and attention grabbing. Social media is saying that big numbers tend to travel faster online, especially when tied to celebrities with already strong public interest. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the original posts may have started from loosely interpreted discussions rather than any real financial evidence, but by the time that idea spread, it was already competing with the viral narrative. Meanwhile, reactions from fans and critics became even more emotionally charged. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds where people defended their interpretations aggressively. Some users accused others of being too quick to believe online rumors, while others accused skeptics of trying to downplay potential success stories. As emotions ran high as both sides refused to budge, and every new post reignited the argument. The situation became less about Pooh Shiesty himself and more about how people process celebrity news in the digital age. Adding to the drama, silence from official channels continued to fuel speculation. Social media is saying that when rumors remain unanswered, they tend to grow stronger because the lack of confirmation leaves room for imagination. However, others pointed out that public figures often choose not to respond to every claim, especially when the information is inaccurate or not worth addressing. This disagreement over silence versus confirmation kept the conversation alive, with no resolution in sight. At this stage, the story had taken on a life of its own. Fans were creating timelines, mapping out alleged property locations, and connecting unrelated dots in an attempt to form a coherent picture. But every attempt to clarify the situation only seemed to add more confusion. Unconfirmed reports suggest that many of the so called discoveries were based on assumptions drawn from publicly available data that may not even be relevant to him. The atmosphere online felt heavier, but also more uncertain. What began as a simple rumor about real estate had transformed into a complex digital narrative shaped by emotion, speculation, and viral momentum. Pooh Shiesty's name remained at the center of it all, but the truth behind the alleged portfolio was still nowhere in sight. And as the internet kept debating, one thing became undeniable. The story wasn't slowing down, and the questions were only getting louder. Was as the speculation around Pooh Shiesty's alleged $12 million real estate portfolio reached its peak online, the entire conversation began to feel like it was standing on a knife's edge between rumor and reality. Every corner of social media seemed to be reacting at once, some celebrating the idea of hidden wealth and business success, others warning that the internet was once again running too far with unverified claims. At this point, nothing has been confirmed, yet the story had already grown into something much larger than its original spark, almost like a digital urban legend forming in real time. The biggest shift came when users started to question not just the claims themselves, but the entire process behind how these kinds of stories go viral. On social media is saying that once a number as specific as $12 million enters the conversation, it automatically gains authority in the eyes of many viewers, even without proof. Unconfirmed reports suggest that repetition plays a major role in shaping belief online. Once enough pages repeat the same figure, it starts to feel real to audiences, even if no official source ever validates it. That realization alone caused a wave of reflection across comment sections, with people debating how easily narratives can be built from thin air. At the same time, a new wave of creators began responding to the situation, not by confirming anything, but by analyzing the psychology behind the rumor itself. These discussions focused on how celebrity wealth speculation spreads, how fan communities contribute to amplifying unverified information, and how quickly a simple idea can transform into a trending topic. While entertaining and thought provoking, none of these discussions provided any concrete evidence about Pooh Shiesty's actual financial situation or property ownership. Still, they added another layer to the ongoing conversation, shifting attention from what is true to why people believe it. Meanwhile, fans remain deeply divided. On one side, supporters continue to hold on to the idea that the rapper could be quietly building wealth through real estate or private investments. They argued that many artists prefer to keep financial moves out of the public eye, especially when dealing with legal challenges or industry pressures. To them, the rumor represented possibility, a narrative of success unfolding behind the scenes. On the other side, white skeptics pushed back harder than ever, insisting that no verified documentation exists to support any of the claims and warning that exaggerated wealth stories often mislead audiences and distort public perception. The emotional intensity of the debate showed no signs of slowing down. Social media is saying that every new post about the topic seemed to reignite the same arguments, as if the conversation was stuck in a loop. Some users expressed frustration at how quickly speculation turns into assumed truth online, while others admitted they were simply fascinated by the mystery, regardless of whether it was real or not. The engagement itself became part of the story, feeding the algorithm and keeping the topic alive far longer than expected. Then came another twist in how the narrative was being interpreted. An unconfirmed report suggests that similar financial rumors have followed other artists in the past, often starting from misread data, fan estimations, or loosely connected public records. Once those interpretations gained traction, They can evolve into fully formed stories that feel credible simply because they are widely shared. This realization led some viewers to step back and reassess the entire situation, questioning whether they were witnessing actual information or just the natural evolution of internet storytelling. Despite all the debate, no official statement or verified evidence emerged to confirm the existence of the alleged portfolio. That silence left the conversation open ended, allowing speculation to continue circulating without resolution. Some interpreted the lack of response as intentional privacy, while others saw it as proof that there was nothing to address in the first place. The uncertainty itself became the driving force of the discussion, keeping people engaged even without new developments. Of this ongoing online wave, the situation had transformed into something bigger than its original claim. It was no longer just about Pooh Shiesty or a rumored $12 million in real estate. It had become a case study in how quickly digital narratives form, spread, and sustain themselves in modern internet culture. Fans were still asking questions, critics were still pushing back, and creators were still analyzing every angle. But no definitive answers had appeared. And so, the story remains open. The internet continues to speculate, debate, and reinterpret every fragment of information it can find. But at the center of it all, one truth stands out clearly. Nothing has been confirmed, and everything circulating online still belongs to the world of rumor, interpretation, and ongoing discussion. Before we wrap this story up, one thing is clear. The internet is still not done talking about Pooh Shiesty and this alleged $12 million real estate portfolio. Some fans are convinced there's more happening behind the scenes, while others believe it's just another viral rumor that got way too big to control. But until anything is officially confirmed, everything remains speculation, theories, and online debate. Now the real question is, what do you think is going on here? Do you believe there could be some truth to these real estate rumors, or is social media just running wild with assumptions again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because this is one of those stories where everybody seems to have a different answer, and the debate is far from over. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the latest updates in hip-hop news, controversies, and viral stories just like this one. The streets are always talking, and we'll be right here breaking it all down for you. And remember, stay tuned, because in this game, the next twist can drop at any moment.